yourself?
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Melody, and I'm in interactive engineering and especially working on templates for Effect House. Yeah,
Ooh.
so I just feel so excited and come here again and just promote it and introduce some of our templates today. Yeah.
Yay, that's fantastic. And Melody, tell us a little bit more about the amazing hat you're wearing. I see that it has
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
character.
Yeah, I'm waiting your ask that actually. Yeah, I went to Los Angeles last week to visit our office, and during the weekend I visit, the Universal Studio, and you know what they
Ooh.
have now? They have the Super Mario World. So
Oh
I just
yeah.
went there, and this is from the Super Mario World, and also I got my lovely
Oh
T-shirt.
my goodness, matching shirts and t-shirt. That is fantastic. I am extremely jealous of you, Melody.
I really like this hat. Yeah, though I don't remember the name of this character, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, he's so cute. Yeah.
Wow. So when you went, was there a long wait?
I went there actually Friday. I take a day off just to avoid the traffic, but still a lot of people there. Yeah, I think people
Oh.
they're really excited to go there. So yeah, but I think it's better than the weekend. I think yeah. So if you want to go there, definitely recommend it to go during the weekday. I think it will be better.
Weekday? Okay, that's a mega tip. I was wondering if did you get like one of those bracelets that you can tap
I
on the
do.
Yoshi?
I
Huh?
do. Oh my God, it's just in my closet. I probably can't really get it
Yeah.
yet, but yeah, next time I can show you guys. I just got the green one, and my friend
Uh-huh.
got the red one, the Super Mario one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we both have the watch, and actually there are some mini games inside that Nintendo or Nintendo World, and you can just hit the coin or the blocks, and it will collecting the coins in your account because the watch is connected to your Universal Studio account. Yeah, so there is they just trying to divide everyone own this watch into different groups. So there is some competition between the different groups there. Yeah. And after you played three mini games and win all of them, you
Uh-huh.
get the ticket to
Wow.
play with the final one, with the big boss. Yeah, fight the
You
big boss.
play three mini games, and if you beat all of them, there's a big boss that you can defeat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, you were not allowed to entering that game and playing with the big boss. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like super mega fun, and I'm now more urged to go check out the Nintendo World. I think Melody, you said it in such a convincing way that everybody's gonna go to Super Mario World this weekend. So I gotta take some PTO to make sure I go on the weekdays.
Yeah, Universal Studio probably need to pay me for promoting their new theme park. Yeah.
I know you're wearing all their merch. You're laying the details of the map and what to do. So
Yeah.
thanks. Okay, I just want to make sure that the sound has been fixed on the YouTube side. Just double checking. Guys, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let us know in the comment section. Let's see. Just checking. Give us one bit. But in the meantime, Melody, are you also a Nintendo game player? I think I remember you telling that you played Mario Kart.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I usually do with my friends. But the sad fact is, I'm not really good at playing. And there is besides the Nintendo car cut, and there is another classic one called Overcooked, and it's kind of like a teamwork. You
Yes.
know, I am so bad at that game. So every time I playing with my friends, they just feel so tired to shout at me. They just say, "Stay where you are, Melody. Don't move around."
Oh my gosh. I'm now currently playing a two-player game with my boyfriend,
Mm.
and it's called It Takes Two. and
Oh, that one.
it's a game where you have to like cooperate in order to go to the next stages. And I've also been struggling so hard because I'm not really like a console game player. So he gave me like this Xbox controller thing, and I'm like,
Ah,
where's the A? Where's the B? So
that's sweet. Yeah, I heard about that game. I heard like the Steam setting, like all these visual stuff are
mhm,
really great, right?
yeah.
And is that kind of like a combination of all the classic games, like a mini games inside that
There's
one?
a bunch of mini games, there's awesome rounds, and the world building itself is just incredible. Like it
Wow.
happens inside of a house, but you're also going through like a tree to see the squirrel's nest. There's a pond. There you have to go through wasp. It is incredibly fun. If you haven't already, like try it out. And I feel like while I was creating the playing the game, I was really inspired to make a super cool effect like this. So it might be good for your inspiration as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Now that the sound has been resolved, I think we're ready to move on to the session. Melody, can you tell us a little bit more about the Rainbow Shadow template?
Yeah, definitely. So for this rainbow shadow template, actually, like it's generated from like our internal like TT effect, and that was pretty popular ones. And we thought because it's also like have some knowledge about render texture and about like some like shader knowledge. So
Mm-mm.
that's why we feel, oh my god, this is a great candidate to be a template and showing people how to make this like a delay and rainbow effects there. Yeah, that's why we make it as a template there. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see this because I think one of the first effects that I've ever checked out was also a rainbow effect. I think that might be the internal effect that this was
Mm.
based off of. But when you're moving, it leaves like a trail of rainbows behind. And I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. Is this the kind of things that you can create in Effect House? And now we have a template so anybody can easily create that. So I am very happy to show you guys how the template was built and how Melody devised all of the little specific parts. But I see a lot of people in the comment section. April D. Royals says, hello, everyone. MFF Music Station says, there's no sound. Thank you for flagging that to us. We fixed it because of you. So thank you, MFM. Miguel is also here. Haley Kappa says hello with a cute cat emoji. Reem says hey. Geraldine says heart, heart, heart. Reem says favorite hour of the day. I'm truly honored. Okay, I think because the intro part did not have some sound, you might have missed it. But Melody went to the Universal Studios and she got a cool hat and cool shirt that is all Boo themed. So you are caught up on the most important fact of the day. But Melody went to Universal Studio and she has awesome merch. So we're ready to go, Melody.
Cool, cool. Thank you, Celine. And yeah, I went to Universal Studio just to show it again. Okay, okay, cool. So for today, we're gonna introduce our like rainbow shadow template, and like for this time, I'm gonna like go through like the logic behind the template, how we setting and why we set it like that way, and then I'm gonna like break down to three parts. So for each part, I'm gonna introduce what kind of parameters you can tweak to customize. And for the last part, if you're interested, I will also introduce like some knowledge about the shader, the material graph setting in like this template. Okay, let's start. So
Perfect. While Melody is transitioning to Effect House, Geraldine from the comments says, very cute, Melody. I think she loves your outfit.
thank you. Okay, cool. So let's open our lovely effect house
Melody, do you
and
think you can hide the tab on the back? Perfect.
sure.
Thank you.
Cool, cool, no problem. Thank you. Yeah, so let's go to Effect House and go to the Templates tab. The fast way to find it is under the Body tab. And here it is, the Rainbow Shadow one. Okay. Cool. Let me doing this. can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so now you already see like this lovely rainbow effects in the preview. And let me just go through the settings on the hierarchy part. So for the hierarchy, we generally have like four render groups here, right? So for the first one, we call it a rainbow segmentation effect. And under this part, you see like we have two scene object. One is the rainbow color segmentation, and second is a dynamic color segmentation. So if like here we say like a try me. So what you can do is trying to like disable the first one and see the second one. So you can see the differences. The first one is kind of like mapping the rainbow color for the whole segmentation layer. And for this dynamic one, it's actually like a solid color, but the color is still changing according to time. So that is the differences. And we kind of set these two options for people to try. So you can switch between these two options there. Yeah. And for the second part, the 2D image segmentation effect. So this is the part actually make this delay happen. If I like disabled three of them, just to keep one, you actually just see one like a rainbow image, like moving with the body, right? And for each image, it's just got like some delay from the previous one. And when you adding them together, you will see like we extended the delay and making this like a long time like a shadow effects there. So this is like individual images, and every image hold a delay from the like a rainbow segmentation there. I will explain the details there, but just trying to give a brief introduction about what is setting in the hierarchy there. Okay, so this is about the shadow images. And the third part is pretty straightforward, the post effect. So because we wanted some added some like a motion blur, as well as some like a filter to the final effects. That's why we adding like all the parameters here. So yeah, feel free to tweak the parameters to creating like a more dramatic effects, add on this like a rainbow shadow effect. And this is motion blur. So if you increase it, yeah, it's kind of like also make some delay there a little bit. Yeah, let's check it out.
So, one tip that I want to share with the 3.0 update is that you can now add subgraphs as your custom node in the asset library. So, if you go to one of the subgraphs, Melody, and if you right click on it, um, yep, perfect. Then there should be a button that says add as custom node. And I feel like that is the coolest option. And if you take the node, you can open it in any project. You can open it on a blank canvas, or you can open it on the 2D randomizer template, and you can use it just anywhere. So before last time, Melody showed us how to use a tiny subgraph that generates really vibrant colors. For this one, you can also take parts of the subgraph and make them into a custom node, so you can reuse it in multiple different scenarios. So here's a little tip for you. And Rosa from the TikTok live says, I'm loving creating effects. Thank you so much for joining into the live. Thank you guys. Okay, back to Melody.
Thank you, Celine. Okay, cool. So, and just one more thing about the subgraph. So you can go to like a browse asset library to find all the subgraph as well as other like assets there. So here is the Visual Scripting subgraph. Just click like a download, and it will import into your assets folder. Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's go back to the rainbow shadow one. Yeah, so for the post process, here we set up like a some of the post process effects there to like adding some incredible like side effects. Sorry, the incredible like post effects to the like a segmentation delay there. And so last one is the foreground segmentation effect. So if you disable this one, actually you can see it's just like trying to create it like a normal segmentation layer in front of the rainbow delay. So all this like a rainbow shadow delay is kind of behind the body. It's like a shadow following the body. So this is the purpose of this foreground segmentation effect.
This
Okay.
is
Oh,
actually
sorry.
cool. I'm so sorry, Melody, but like I think that could also make for a fun effect. I think last time we also talked about in the body outline how it can be an effect of its own. I
Yeah.
think this would be like dance with your rainbow shadow, and you can even hide the portrait segmentation if you want. So there's other way. If you don't want like a shadow version, you can have a rainbow self dancing effect.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So that is the brief go through of the hierarchy setting. And then I make a little bit like a diagram. Sorry, here. Can you hear my screen about the diagram there? Or let me just, sorry. Oh, okay, cool. So here, I just draw a diagram to explain the logic behind it. So you see usually we got like when we get like a segmentation texture, right? So here, this is the segmentation texture. And what we do is trying to apply the rainbow color material to this segmentation texture. And then the segmentation texture is turning effects like this. So it's with like this rainbow color on it. The fun part is we don't render it to the final result. Actually, we do is render it to like a render texture called a rainbow segmentation render texture. So it's like here. So this is the target we render to. And you see in here. So the function of this one is doing what I explained it just like you adding like this like a customer material graph into the segmentation texture, and then the target will be the result will be rendered to this texture. It's called the rainbow segmentation render texture. So here is the logic part. You get the raw segmentation texture, and we applying the rainbow color material, and then the original segmentation texture is actually turning into this like effect, the segment part with rainbow color, and we render the target to this rainbow segmentation render texture. And later, so when we got this result, we are trying to take like a continuous snapshot. So imagine like at the first frame, we're taking this first like a snapshot. And after like maybe 2 frames later, we're taking the second snapshot. And like 4 seconds later, we take the third. And 6 seconds later, we take the fourth one. And after 2 seconds again, it will rolling back to overwrite the first one. So actually, like when we got this rainbow segmentation, we're taking like this continuous snapshot. But for this continuous snapshot, there is some like a frame delay between each of them. That's how we created the delay effect. Yeah. And when you combine these 4 frames together, it will get this final result. So that is the logic behind the whole effect. Any question about this part?
Oh, I think you explained it really well. Basically, what you're trying to say is because you want the effect to look very delayed, you create a segmentation and then you take a lot of photos of the segmentation and show it a couple of seconds later. So it looks like there is a delay. But I think every person said it was easy to understand. Um,
How to set
yeah.
up in the Fat House?
Uh-huh. You're ready to
Yeah,
go?
yeah. Sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to explain the logic behind it, so that will be easier for me to like go back to Effect House and explain what did the setting do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds great.
So for the first step, from the raw segmentation texture to the rainbow effect segmentation, for this process is happening actually under this part, the rainbow segmentation effect. So I can use this one as an example. So you see for this rainbow color segmentation, it's actually applying this customer material. and we can find it. Where is the material? So here is the material, and we use material graph to do that part. So you see, it's actually like used the portrait segmentation. This is the input texture. So we used the raw portrait segmentation as the input, right? We get it as the input and then do some calculation inside the shader part. So generally, we are taking the segmentation alpha. So which means only the segmentation part will get the rainbow color. Otherwise, the other part will be like a transparent. And for that like a segmentation part, we applying the rainbow color there. I can explain later about how we set the rainbow color there, but this is like we applied the rainbow color to just the segmentation part. So I can also make a little quick experiment. So alpha part is because our segmentation texture is for the human part, the alpha is always 1. But for the other part, the alpha will always be 0. So if you combine the color with the alpha, which means the color will only apply to the body area. Yeah. And so for this material, we're taking the segmentation as the input and then applying the rainbow color to it. So the output of this one is actually that segmentation with the rainbow color. One more thing is for the camera part, we actually rendered the texture not to the, usually we set it to the final render output. So it will on the screen directly. Yeah, there is some I'm sorry. Yeah, so the effect will on the
Super
directly.
cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So it's like a little bit chaotic here, but yeah, it's applying on the a screen directly. But if you render create a new render texture and make it as the render target, so which means all the result will be rendered and saved on this rainbow segmentation render texture for temporary. Yeah, so it was saved there.
This is why I love Material Editor, because even though you're doing something you didn't intend, it looks super cool. People are all in the chat saying psychedelic, it's crazy. So I think that's also an awesome effect. And this also proves that the best way to learn the Effect House tool is just by playing around, seeing, oh my god, this is so cool. You'll discover things that you didn't intend but is fantastic.
Yeah, sure. For material graph, it's always you need to keep learning and keep trying. Sometimes unexpected effects just appear there, and you will love it. And you just forgot what your original idea, what you want to do. Cool. Okay. So this is about the first part, how to transfer the put some rainbow color to our a raw segmentation texture there. And it is the same thing for this dynamic color one. The only differences will be we applying a different material to this raw segmentation texture. So here, this is the dynamic color material. It's also use the raw segmentation texture as the input and catching the alpha to make sure the color will only apply into the segmentation area. Yeah, but I can explain more about how we set up the color there later. Yeah. Any question about this part, adding the customer material, applying some color to the segmentation texture, and why we wanted to render to a temporary render texture? Okay, cool. Wow. Everyone understand it well, which means I explained it well. Okay. Okay, cool. So for the next part is about the image shadow effect part. So, okay, thinking we already got this result, the rainbow segmentation render texture, right? We got this result. What are we gonna do with this result is we use this result as an input and take a continuous screenshot based on this render texture. So this is about the visual scripting part. You see, we use this render texture. Yeah, here, this is our render texture, the previous result, right? We just drag it into the, okay, I think I probably put it a different way. So using this way. Yeah, I think like either one works. You can drag it directly from here, from the asset panel, or like just a pin from the camera result there. Okay, so you use this like a render texture, the previous render texture as the input, and then we are capturing the continuous screenshot. So here this is the main node to do the continuous snapshot. I think like we have another one called snapshot. So this one is means just taking like a one-time screenshot. But for this one, it's kind of like an advanced version of the snapshot node. So it's taking continuous snapshot. And for this input is like taking the target, like your frame you wanted to take the picture from. And here, like a max count is about how many frames you wanted to take, you want to capture, like in total, like for a loop, you know. Yeah. And
So
here,
you're saying if the maximum number is 50 after you take 1 to 50 photos, the 51st photo would be saved at number 1 and
yeah,
then
yeah.
will loop, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for example, we have 4 frames here, and when it's like ended to 4, it will go back to like a 0 frame, and the new 0 frame will just overwrite the previous frame. So it's always keep looping, but it always taking like 4 frames in total. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melody.
Mhm.
Can we go back to the
Sure.
render layer and see what setup you did? Because I know layers are a lot of like complicated topics, so I wanted to see if you put the render texture on a different layer or on the default layer. And for
Uh,
some people it might not show up even though you set it as a render texture. Then they might be like, oh, what setting do I have to change in order for them to appear? So I would love a little bit of a explanation.
yeah, sure. I mean, because we didn't really like just rendering the part of them. So actually, for the layers, we didn't do like a special setting there, or like being rendered to the default layer. But the only thing is we didn't render like the result to the final render output, which means it won't show on the screen directly. We render the target to like this customized, created like a rainbow segmentation render texture. And actually, it's just a name thing. What you need to do is go to like assets and texture and go to like a render texture. So here is how we created this like a temporary render texture to hold the camera result. Yeah, and you can rename like whatever you want. So it's just like a render texture, nothing special. Yeah.
Yeah, so think of it this way. Let's say you are trying to draw a photo. If you draw everything on one layer, like if you're doing watercolor and then you put it on top of the drawing, then if you're trying to get the original painting without the new edits, you can't get them because you put it all in one layer. So what we're trying to do is put a transparent film and then draw on that transparent film so you can modify this film or change it or remove it, and it won't obstruct the base layer. So by rendering it to a different transparent layer, we can take screenshots and then it won't show the background, or you can put different colors and edits like this. So that's one benefit of using render texture. Thank you, Melody.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for asking. Okay, so let's go back to this continuous snapshot. So you see here, we actually created like 4 images. So that's why like for here, we multiply 4 because this is like a taking like a parameter called interval frame. So which means how many frames you wanted to have between like each like a shadow image there. So if I set it to 1, which means um, I'm gonna like taking continuous frame, like the 0 frame, and like after 1 frame will be 2 and 3 and 4, and get that result to the corresponding like image texture there. So let me just bring back this diagram to for like a better explain. So you see, this is your first image, taking the first snapshot. And the interval frame means like how many frames between the second one and the previous one. So in here, we set it like an interval frame to 1, which means, so the first will be the number 0 frame, and second will be number 1 frame, and this will be number 3 and number 4. But if you change the interval frame to, let's say, 2 or 3, so which means like this will be taking the index 0, and this one will be taking index like 0 plus like interval frame will be 2 and then multiply 1. And here it will be, wait, how to edit this one? Yeah, so in here it will be index like 0 plus 2 minus 2. And this will be 0 plus 2 minus 3, 2 multiply 3. Yeah. So which like I hope like you can understand like this interval frame is like the frames delay from the between the first one and the second one. Yeah. I'm not sure if I explained it like clear. Any question about this part? So it's generally the index plus.
I don't think I see any problem at the moment, but if people have questions, I'll stop you while you're explaining.
Yeah, sure. So you see, I already kind of list out the calculation here. It's generally like the times like multiplied the interval frame. So that's why here, like when you get this interval frame, we just do this calculation, like multiply 1, multiply 2, and multiply 3 to catch the frame number there. And then we get the like a frame from this array and send it to this image texture. So for the first frame, it's always taking like a frame 0, and we set it to image 1 texture. Here, this is the image 1 texture set. You see, this is how we set the image 1 texture. And for image 2, it's actually taking the number, it should be like an interval frame multiply 1. The index of that frame always will be interval multiply 1, and we get that index there and then send it to image 2. And the third one will always be the interval frame multiply 2. Yeah, so the fourth one will be interval multiply 3, and go to the fourth like shadow image there. Yeah, so that is about how we take the continuous snapshot. And actually, like for easy part, like if you wanted to play with that, you can just see the differences. If you see, now we set it the interval frame to 1 frame, which means every frame will just have like a 1 frame delay. But what if I say like dramatic like 5? Can you see the differences? So each frame will have like a 5 frames delay.
Yeah, even though it's just a couple seconds difference, it looks so different. The effect entirely looks like a different effect.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure how it looks with 10, but let's try. It's like people
now
people
I look
behind
like
you.
and then there's like multiple people like all behind me.
Yeah, it's like a really like your rainbow shadow. Yeah, people, you have a team, you have a rainbow shadow team. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you get the idea behind it. So the interval frame is really control the delay time between each frame there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wish we had a video that was like really dynamic like this so that people can see like the traces of people.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing. I didn't know if it would detect for multiple people. Let me try for two people. Oh, wow. It's working for two people there. This is awesome. Yeah. I think we got a new effect here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that is a part about how we set up the delay shadow effect there. I think I kind of already introduced the core logic behind this template. Any questions about the logic setting, um, or about why we set up how we apply the rainbow effect to the segmentation, or any question about this shadow delay effect?
I think most people are finding that it's easy to understand. People are saying that it's super fun. So I think everything's going super well. But
Awesome.
let's say you weren't to apply the rainbow shadows and you just have a segmentation following, then would it look like, can you create like 10 people just following you like a group of ninjas?
Yeah, exactly. You can do that. The thing is, this is the number control how many shadow you can create or can follow you. So just to make this project clean, we just created 4 shadows here. But if you wanted to create like a 10 or even more, what you need to do is just make the duplication there, and also make a corresponding like a render texture to put it as the input of that one. Yeah, it's probably a little bit more setting there because in here you probably need to add like a one more. For example, if I wanted to add it here, what I need to do is just to duplicate it this part to get like one more delay frame from the continuous snapshot. And here. So this will be 4. Okay. Oh, and one more thing, the total frame will also need to be 5. This should be the number, like matching the shadow image you wanted to take in total. So if you want to take like a 5 shadow image, in here, the maximum count will also need to be the interval frame multiply the total number of your image count. Yeah, here, just to remember.
Melody, would creating a lot of different layers have impact on the effect performance? Like if I did 50 follow.
Um, I mean, we highly don't recommend it to do that, but you can try to test our effect house performance limitation and let me know. Yeah, because I didn't try that before, but I will really encourage you to do that. Break our tool and submit some feedback.
Yes, definitely do that. Also, now with the 3.0, we also have a new feature that allows you to test the performance of the effect on the top right corner. If you can click it for me, Melody. Oh, is this 3.0 or?
It's 2H2 because
Oh, okay.
yeah.
In the 3.0, the top on the top right corner, there should be a icon called Performance Tester, and if you click it, you can see how your effects are performing. So that's another added bonus of updating to 3.0. You'll try adding 50 and see if it passes QA.
Awesome. Because it's so colorful, so it's a little bit hard for me to count if there's a
Oh my
5 people.
wow.
But I think it works. Yeah. So that is the way. Just duplicate the image and create like a new render texture, make it as the input texture of that new image, and then go to your a visual scripting settings inside here. First, trying to change the multiply number to matching the total image number, and second is just duplicated these 3 nodes and connect them together. That's it. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to that, like a 15 or like a 20 shadows there. Yeah, let me know. Okay, Cool, cool. That is for the shadow part. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention here. So there is another interesting parameters we can try to play with. That's about the image blend mode. Sorry. So currently we set it to normal, but if you're trying to choose other type of like a blend mode, I think it will create some interesting effect there. So let me try. Celine, which one you wanted to try for the blend mode?
Ooh, should we do screen? Screen's always my favorite.
Okay, let's try screen. I think something already happened there for
Oh,
one frame, but let's try to transform all
oh
of
my
them.
gosh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a feel a little bit more. I don't know what is the word, how to describe it, like light or
Oh,
yeah.
somebody should create name this the ghost of me, and then it will just be like a white shadow ghost just following your every movement.
Yeah, yeah. This like the screen blend mode will create like a more shadow or like a ghost effect there. So yeah, feel free to apply the different blend mode. I think you will create something really interesting. Yeah.
Hmm. Melody, I know
Mhm.
that a lot of the popular internal effects that were created by people like Melody who work at TikTok is the where you can create like a reflection of yourself. Do you think
Mhm.
if we flip the X, it will just reflect your emotion?
Yeah, exactly. So if you wanted to reflect the shadow, just do the flip. Let me try. It should be flip Y, I think. Oh, sorry, flip X. Yeah. So if you do flip X, all the shadow will just be the mirror way. Be the
Ooh, that looks like a disco party. Now you can dance with yourself.
yeah, yeah. That's a great idea to do that. Let me change it back to normal so people can see it more obvious. Oh my god, I hope we can have a function that can select all of them and changing at a time. So I
That
don't need to
goes
do
on the feature request. Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay. So actually it's do the opposite way. I can make the segmentation to be a little bit off so you can see. Yeah.
Wow. When you want to party but you have no friends, so you just gotta duplicate.
That feels so sad, you know?
I have no friends, so I will be using this effect to
Come
party with.
on, you can dance with your little kitties, right? Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you for the great suggestion and idea, like a flip to the X there. Yeah. Okay, I think that is kind of like the for logic behind this rainbow shadow. I'm not sure, like, do we have more time or people interested about the material graph part?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, okay, awesome. So yeah, let's dive into the material graph part. Okay, so we can take a look of this. So this one is a dynamic color one. So let's take a look into the dynamic color one first. I think some of you already played with Material Graph, which is pretty fun, right? And in here, we have like some properties setting there. The way to set the properties and make it show on the inspector panel is just go to this button, like My Items, and then go to this plus button to create your own parameters. If you click the plus, you will like see the different types of the parameters here. So yeah, for example, like a color, and if you want to use it, just ping it into the graph. The reason why it didn't show here because it doesn't really connect it to your graph. So which means the system feel like, oh, you're not really using this parameter. So that's why it doesn't show up there. For example, if I disconnected this one, you see it's just disappear from the inspector. So sometimes you need to connect it to make sure this parameter is in using. So that's why it will show up in the inspector. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So here we have three parameters: the input texture, the color change speed, and the color saturation here. So for the input, it's actually catching the like a raw segmentation texture there. So you can change that input texture. For example, I can create something. For example, what else? Let me see, like a head, maybe just a head, and replace it with just a head segmentation. See what happens there. You see, it's just taking the head segmentation part.
Oh my
Mm,
gosh.
yeah, yeah.
Until now, I thought, oh, this is a cool template, but I have no idea like how to customize it or create my own effect. But I didn't know that you can maybe adjust the parameters or use different blending modes or even select different segmentation layers and create such a fun effect like this. This is insane.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we exposed these parameters for people to explore. So like I think for clothing, it probably be more interesting. So you will have like your neon colorful clothing there.
Oh my gosh. So if we set the delay to be
Mm-hmm.
a little shorter so that it like move follows you more quickly, I feel like we can totally do call this like a neon wig effect or like neon clothes effect.
Yeah, exactly. But you probably need to do one more step to hide the like the raw camera. So
Mhm.
if you wanted to hide the people there, but
Yeah.
now you can see it's like a neon rainbow clothing
Oh.
there, and we
Uh-huh.
can disable the flip X, so it's
Mhm.
always matching the body.
Oh my gosh. If you go to a festival or go to a pride parade, definitely try out this effect. It is so fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like it. Oh my God, I
Uh-huh.
also feel like I'm creating a new effect. I love. Yeah.
Publish it. Publish it. The most important thing is publishing it. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, and yeah, so we can like look deep into the setting here. Oh, one more parameters.
Wait, Melody, I
Mhm.
have a crazy idea because you just inspired me. We allow for different segmentation, like floor segmentation, background segmentation.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm wondering what would happen if we try to segment out like a building. Like, would it also leave a crazy trail?
Mm. Let me try, but the thing is like because it's the delay is always because of the moving.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that's why I feel like let's try. But probably like for the building because it's not really moving there. So yeah, it's like just a fixed rainbow color. Let's see,
Mm-hmm.
building and change it to building, and let's turn into.
Also, guys, you can add custom media. So,
Whoa!
whoa,
Wow. Okay.
wow. This is psychedelic. This is real. I love it.
Live demo. I just it's just kind of weird. Like every time I live demo with Effect House, it's working. It never happened before.
Inspire creativity. We love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's awesome. Great idea, Celine. Yeah, okay. So, okay, we can change it back to clothing, our favorite one. And here is the color change speed. So it actually control like the speed of the color changing along with the time. So if you like tweak it to 0, the color will always be there, like it won't change. But if you like increase it, will changing crazy with the time. So this is this parameter, and the saturation. Yeah, it's really obvious. So
Mm.
changing the saturation of the color. So here is the parameters we expose for people to explore, and just quickly show how we set it up there. So because we wanted to apply color to the segmentation part, right? So that's why we usually will create it for color. We will usually create it like how do you say, like a vector 4 to represent the color. This is what we usually do, right? And because we wanted the color just applying to the segmentation part, so that's why we take the alpha as the mask. And let's do a quick experiment. If I do like a 1 minus the alpha, so I think it will only apply the color to the other part except the
Oh,
segmentation. So that's why we use alpha, because we want to use it as a mask. Yeah, give it back to here.
I'm not gonna lie, that's another cool effect right there.
Thank you. Cool, cool. Okay. And for the like XYZ, like the first three parameter of the that vector is actually control the color there, right? Because color is like RGB there, right? And the cool thing about this setting here is we used the time to always like a changing the like a hue of the color. So here, this is the time. We multiply the like a speed, like a how fast we wanted the hue to changing along the time. So we multiplied the change speed there, and mod it to 10. The reason why we mod it to 10 and multiply like a 0.1 is just to make sure this hue parameter is locked between 0 to 1. It's kind of like a limited the number from 0 to 1. Yeah. And you see this is the parameter connected to the color saturation. Yeah, the color saturation is the second parameter here. So this is a hue and this is saturation, and this is the brightness. So HSB. And when we had the color, so this is already the color in HSB mode. And because the final result taking the RGB mode, so that's why we need the HSB to RGB mode convert. And we use this node to convert it the color mode from HSB to RGB. And and compile this alpha of the segmentation, and boom, you just applying the like a solid color and changing with the time, and it's only happen on the segmentation part. Yeah.
I have a crazy request, Melody. What
Mhm.
if somebody wanted to apply a pattern,
Oh,
apply a specific texture so that it always displays?
we can try something like that, like do a sample texture there. And let me see, we have like a, for example, just to use the background texture, and just to do RGB here. 1 second, let me refresh it.
I think it might be because the background texture is just blank, or what do you
Let
think?
me see if I disable this one. Wait, what is the color of our background? Let me try to find some. 1 second.
Oh, Melody. Oh no, you don't have that version. But for the 3.0, we also have a new feature in the Asset Studio that allows you to generate image based on your text input. So you can say a hamburger, and then you can choose between a pixel style and a 3D render style. So I was gonna ask
Mhm.
Melody to use that, so maybe we can have a hamburger shaped clothes. But
Ah,
maybe you can still use the Asset Studio face mask feature, because even though it generates it as a face mask, you can also
mhm.
use PNG version of that. So let's see if we
Let's
can tiger.
try. Yeah, let's try that. So which way? I think this one. Let's import. Okay, so we got like a tiger image,
Mhm.
and but interesting. Why it's like a? Let's see the tiger. Where is the tiger one? Okay. Mhm.
Whoa!
1 second. Oh, wait. Oh, it's because
You
like
can connect the alpha.
yeah. But it's pretty interesting why it didn't. That's why, because I didn't put the UV. Hmm.
Mm.
So if I put the UV here,
Whoa!
yeah. So here we go. We got a tiger
Yay!
clothes in there.
If we
Okay.
multiply the HTB to RGB with the
Mm.
that we just added, would the tiger also change colors?
Yeah, I think so. So what you need to do is just trying to do like some multiply. See the result here.
Color changing tiger clothes. This is so cool.
Publish it, right?
Publishing right now. Yeah, but people are saying like, "Wow, this is why we love Effect House. This is so cool." I made this week face mask option. They tried the acid library, so everybody's saying they love it.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. So yeah, that is about the solid, like, but also like changing with color, changing with time, like the material graph there. And we got one more. The rainbow one is actually the similar things. We also have like this input texture there. Let me just disable this one. Yeah, the only difference is so here like the speed to changing the color speed. Yeah. So the only difference is previously we're just created the solid color and applying to that. How we create a rainbow one is we actually using the texture chord to mapping the like red and the green of this like color there. So imagine like the texture, they have their own coordination, right? And we are using it's the coordination to like mapping the red and the green numbers to this segmentation there. Not sure if I explained it right, but I probably need like so just to draw a quick one. So for example, you have a texture, right? So for the texture, it actually have the UV or the coordination there. And I forgot like in our system, what is the 0, 0, the original point there. But usually like for example, for just pretending like for the left down corner, this is the 0, 0, which means that the red parameter is 0 and green parameter is 0. And if this at this corner, like the left top corner, the coordination is like a 0 and 1, which means that the red will be 0 and the green will be 1. So it's trying to mapping the color according to the texture coordination. For example, if it is 0, 1, and this is like a 0, 0, and this is like a 1, 0. So this will be 1, 1. And the first one is always represented the red color. So it's always like for this corner, the red will be 0 and green will be 0. For this one, red will be 1 and green be 0. So this is kind of like a classic way to mapping the UV to like the color, like a rainbow color on that texture there. It's just a kind of like a turn the UV parameters like to visualize it with the color there. So that's how we using the UV, and you see we appended it like as the color for the final result there. And the alpha part is the same thing. We use the segmentation alpha to like mask out just the segmentation part. Yeah. And a little bit tricky thing is we used the time to control the blue channel. So it's like the color is always like changing like that. Yeah, but for the red and the green one, it's actually controlled by the texture coordination. Yeah. That is for the rainbow color.
Amazing job, Melody. Thank you so much for giving us a really in-depth explanation of the templates and the material graph and how you built it. I know I gave you some crazy requests in the middle. I'm like, Melody, do this.
I'm so proud I satisfied all the requests there.
You are great. And whenever I gave you a question, you've never struggled. You always answer it in the right way. So perfect. I think everybody is had a blast at this live, especially when we created the tiger print. Everybody was like, "Wow, hey, oh my gosh, going wild! We love it with the heart emoji." And a lot of people are saying, "Cat print, oh so pretty, publish it." So I am so glad. Thank you everyone for attending. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And since Melody is so beloved and highly requested, I might have to beg her to come out on the Effect House live again.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'm so excited. Every time I really had a great time here. Yeah, so happy. Okay, hope you enjoy this. Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a great rest of your days. Later
Bye.
today, we have office hours. So, in about like 6 hours, our community manager, Vanessa and Mingus, will come out and answer all your technical questions. So, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in our Discord or in our forums or even in the chat below so we can answer them and help you. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Bye.